revitalizing the spirit, restoring our community. Urban Family Talk.
But Abe, as you look at the landscape and kind of survey the culture and look at what's happening today, I know that the Lord is stirring your heart. We talk about these things on a regular basis. I want us to look at the radical push, the radical agenda that is being forced upon the American people, but most specifically Christians. But I also wanted to ask you this. I wanted to get your take on sort of this, this trapeze that you see the liberal media walking and dealing with what happened in Orlando. What do you make of that?
Oh, man. It is, and it's once again, well, not once again, I'll say it this way. Man, ideas and worldview matters.
Mm-hmm.
Ideas have consequences. It is amazing how quickly, not just general politicization of the events, but how specifically people go with the knee-jerk reactions to, psh, bam, gun control. Psh, bam, we got to protect the LGBTQ element of P community.
Right,
Bam,
right.
I mean, just automatic knee-jerk reactions. And to really appreciate and understand what's going on, you have to hearken back to what's often referred to as the playbook for progressive ideology, which is Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals.
Okay.
Saul Alinsky's Rules for Radicals postulated that, first of all, massive upheaval of society is necessary in order to basically create a humanistic utopia, all right? He said the means to accomplish this is to create chaos or capitalize on chaos because people are willing to forego freedoms in exchange for safety. If
People are willing to forego freedoms in exchange for safety.
That's
okay.
exactly right. Exactly
Okay.
right. If fear can be aggressively fomented, then you have the opportunity to advance the progressive agenda, which is why in a moment of candor, we heard Rahm Emanuel, when he was in the White House under President Obama's administration, saying we cannot allow a crisis to go to waste.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Which is why you see such an immediate, from our president all the way down, an immediate response to this heinous, murderous, evil occurrence in Orlando. You hear the president immediately going to, we got to get the guns. We got to get the guns.
Yep.
Can we not pause for a moment and grieve with the families who
Right.
have, lost their lives? Can we not grieve with those souls who were made in the image and likeness of God
Man,
and their
come on.
families and friends for a moment before you start talking about grabbing guns, man? But no, because you cannot allow a good crisis to go to waste. And when you have a heightened fear combined with aroused emotions, you have a whole bunch of people piling on the bandwagon. Yeah, get the guns off the street.
Yeah.
Not realizing all throughout history, you name any dictator, one of the first things they ever did before they advanced their murderous regimes was to take the guns from the populations.
Man, Abe, I'm so glad you brought that up because that actually leads to my next question. My question was going to be, as soon as you took a breath, why do you think they want to come for guns? Like, what does that mean to the American people?
Well, let's go back and understand why the founders of our country, after the First Amendment protecting religious freedom, religious liberty, the second liberty the founders sought to protect was the ability of every American citizen to keep, which means to possess privately, and bear arms
My goodness.
publicly.
Yeah.
Translation, I got my gat, and I'm going to let you know I got my gat.
right.
You come for me, you know the risk that you're undertaking.
Yes.
Because the
yes.
founders recognized that if England would have made guns unlawful in the American colonies, there would have never been an American Revolution.
Wow. Wow.
The promulgation was always to allow the citizenry to have the capacity to protect itself from an overbearing government.
Wow. Oh, my goodness.
What we have today is the reverse of that.
Yeah.
In that the government is saying, oh, we got to get the guns off the street. What they won't tell you is that one of the biggest purchasers of guns and bullets right now is the federal government.
Come on,
I
man.
wonder why.
Come on, man.
I wonder why FEMA, which is supposed to be the Federal Emergency Management Agency, is stockpiling weaponry and bullets.
Come on.
They're not going to tell you that when they tell you we got to get these guns off the street. Let's get these citizens. Yeah, you don't need that kind of power to hunt. You don't need all of that to hunt. Want to know why? Because they want to be the only ones with guns.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And I don't want to be a far out conspiratorial advocate, but what I will say, as I'm a student of history, One of the first things Hitler did to the Jews and to those who did not want, he planned on attacking later, was to make it illegal for them to carry guns. One of the first things that happened as a result of the Bolshevik Revolution in Russia was that the proletariat, is what they were referred to, was made it illegal for them to carry guns. Under Pol Pot, under Mao Zedong, you name it, they always went for the guns.
Man, when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. I mean, you want to take someone captive, you reduce their ability to defend themselves. And I mean, you know, your butcher's knife is only going to go so far when they got fire sticks.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
They got sticks with fire coming out of the end of it. And you've got, running into your kitchen and grabbing your meat cleaver. But it seems though, Abe, that we're really willing to easily give up these freedoms. I would like to talk for a minute about the connection between, the African American benefit of being able to bear arms,
yes,
and how now it seems that African Americans so freely align with an agenda that seeks to take those arms away.
Oh yes, and this is a mighty web that has to be woven to make this clear, because to bring it home, one of the things that happened under slavery and even in the Reconstruction, going all the way into the Jim Crow South, is that they consistently sought to make it illegal for blacks to bear arms and limiting their access to ammunition.
Yeah.
So the same thing that we historically fought against, and this is why, and I seem to always come back here, but this is why education is so important.
Yeah.
If you recognize when those of us who were born in the 80s and forward, I can say, because I was born in that time period, whenever you study American history, they glance over everything from like the 1400s up until the 1960s. We deal with like the 1960s in great detail, but things before that we don't deal with in great detail.
Wow.
Because they don't want us to know the history of advances to remove guns, even in America, as it pertains to black folks.
Wow.
And what that has done is, if you separate any people from our history, it unmoors them from an anchor. So just like a boat at sea without an anchor, it makes it easier for it to drift. And it makes it easier for us to be pushed into something that we historically opposed. For example, support for the Democratic Party. Why are we not told the historical significance of the Democratic Party and their relationships with black people?
Right.
Why aren't we told that the Ku Klux Klan was really the military enforcement arm of the Democrat Party?
Yep. Come on.
Why weren't we told that many of our black heroes throughout history all were Republicans?
Well, they're going to tell you now. That's your great-grandfather, a Republican
Exactly.
Party. It's different
Uncle
now.
Joe's
Exactly. But and I'm not even going to debate that. Even if that's so, why not tell me that?
Yeah.
Why not give you the information?
Why do I have to dig as an adult with a family all around when I've been in school for 12 years, 16 years, 20 years already? Why wasn't I told that when I was supposedly being educated? Because they want you to misunderstand history. They want to lie to you because it makes it easier to make a false representation that, oh, by the way, the Democratic Party is the party for the black man.
Oh, man. And we don't even bother to look into
Not
it.
at all.
And we don't bother to look into it.
We just go with it.
And listen, and y'all know me. I'm an equal opportunity truth teller. I am not an apologist for the Republican Party.
Come on, that's right.
However, I am an advocate of us knowing history.
Yeah.
That's
because
right.
what you will find, if you sever those historical ties and affinity ties, because let's keep it real, most black people today that are Democrats, they're Democrats because their papa, their mama, and their great-grandparents told them that that's what you need to do in order to support the black struggle.
We went to a place and the guy was giving his testimony. He was like, man, I was always told when I go in the booth, just click D.
That's right.
Go down the line. That's it.
That's right.
That's
what they told me. That's all I need to know. I need to look at no names. I didn't have to research nothing. Just go in and hit D.
That's right. And so why is that the case without investigating it? Because what I believe you will find, and I don't believe every black person is nor should convert to the Republican Party. However, what you will find is that you won't have this historical, culture-based affinity for a party, and you'll be free to make your choices as presented to you based on the evidence that is presented currently in light of what has happened historically.
That's good. That's good. And the call is for you to know that you can think and you can do your research and you can decide, how you should vote based on your biblical principles.
That's right.
If you're Christian, let's take our cues from the Word of God, and so you can go in. You don't have to be told by a piece of paper that somebody give you bring to your house, here's your voting list. No, you can go and research these candidates, find out what they stand for. If they don't stand for the same thing that you stand for, biblically, no. The answer is no.
So that means your voting slip can look like a checkerboard.
That's
it doesn't
right.
have to go down the line in one party formation or the other. It can look like a checkerboard because maybe in your area the Republicans are whacked out. You understand?
Revitalizing the spirit, restoring our community. Urban Family Talk.